On May 28th, Archangel Michael names the one who's been pretending. They sit near you, but their thoughts aren't their own. What the angel's soul will haunt you. Watch now. There is a divine fingerprint on May 28th, not a date marked by man, but one carved into the spiritual ledger of heaven. This day is not accidental. It is not a coincidence. It is not a mundane passage of time. It is a holy appointment, inscribed in the scrolls of judgment and truth. On this date, Archangel Michael steps forth not as a messenger of mere words, but as a sword-bearing enforcer of celestial justice. He is not speculating. He is not whispering. He is not offering suggestions. He is declaring. And what he declares is final. You must understand, this betrayal is not coming from a distance. It is not coming from an obvious enemy. It is not coming with a shout or a sword. It comes quietly. It comes disguised. It comes wearing the smile you know, the voice you trust, the seat beside you. The one you have allowed close is not alone. Your thoughts are not their own. Something darker has entered, cloaked in familiarity, hidden behind affection, mimicking concern. And now, the heavenly realm has sounded the alarm. Michael does not reveal for entertainment. He reveals because judgment is imminent. Heaven has watched. The angels have circled. What hath been done in shadows will now be pulled into light. And this message is not for the masses. This word is not for the crowds. It is only for the awakened, for the alert, for the ones whose spirit hath been nudged, tugged, and stirred in silence. You have felt it. A chill. A distance. The silent stare when you turned your back. You knew something wasn't right. This message is a trumpet in the spirit. Not all will hear it. But you who were nudged to watch this, you have been selected to receive what others will dismiss. Heaven does not warn without purpose. And today, Michael names the one who has pretended. They sit near. They look familiar. But heaven has seen what lies within. And now so shall you. Archangel Michael now speaks, not in symbols, not in secrets, but with the fire of divine urgency pouring from the throne of the Most High. His sword is unsheathed, his eyes like burning coals, and his voice is thunder upon the mountains. In the next 24 hours, he declares, pay close attention. The veil is lifting. The charade is ending. The mask that was worn with ease is beginning to crack. This is not a time to delay. This is not a moment to question. Heaven's dispatch has reached you for a reason. You, the one whose spirit has stirred at odd hours, whose dreams have shifted, whose peace has grown thin in the presence of someone you once trusted. You are not imagining this. You are not overly sensitive. You are spiritually awakened. And this awakening is not without purpose. The divine realm has ignited this moment in fire, not in whispers. This isn't a gentle tug. It's a celestial alarm. Something has been cloaked in your proximity. A soul you welcomed, a heart you once trusted, has become the vessel of another's will. Your smile no longer holds light. Your words carry a second voice. What you sensed in the silence was not confusion. It was the Holy Spirit prompting you, protecting you, preparing you. Understand this. Not everyone who sits near you walks with light. Some carry shadows. Some harbor whispers not their own. Some, unknowingly, have opened spiritual gates through wounds, bitterness, pride, and through those gates, darkness has entered. The one near you has been speaking, but the words do not originate from them. There is a mimic, a deceit, a spiritual hijacking. And Michael has seen it. Heaven has summoned you to silence, not as retreat but as power. For only in silence will you hear the spiritual shifts. Only in silence will the enemy grow uncomfortable. Only in silence will discernment sharpen. Your obedience in quiet has already activated divine protection. You need not confront what God is about to expose. You need only watch and stay in alignment. You were chosen for this message because your spiritual senses are no longer dormant. You are not asleep. You are not blind. You are one of the few God could trust with spiritual insight in a season of deception. Michael comes to you now, sword drawn, not just to protect, but to reveal. The presence you question has already been judged in the heavenlies. Now, the revelation will manifest. Watch closely. Listen to your spirit. Observe their reactions when truth is near. What they cannot say will scream through their body language. What they try to hide will slip through their speech. What they deny will manifest through discomfort. The deceiver cannot withstand divine exposure. The darkness within them panics in the presence of your light. And in this hour, Archangel Michael instructs you to stay alert. Remain still. Do not retaliate. Do not explain. Your quietness is heaven's roar. The more silent you become, the louder the truth will thunder in the spiritual realm. You have been surrounded by angels. You are not walking into danger unaware. You are walking through revelation protected. This message is not popular. It is not palatable. It is not for everyone. But for those whose hearts have been in secret agony, whose spirits have whispered questions they dared not ask, this is confirmation. Heaven has not been silent. Heaven hath been watching. Heaven has been recording. And now, heaven is responding. The spiritual veil is being lifted. But only those obedient in silence will perceive it clearly. The one pretending will begin to unravel, not by your force but by divine orchestration. Do not fear what is about to be seen. Do not tremble at what is about to be exposed. For though this revelation will pierce your emotions, it will free your spirit. This truth is the doorway to your next level. You are not alone. Archangel Michael is with you, and the army of heaven stands behind you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. The signs were there, hidden in plain sight, concealed beneath normalcy and casual interactions. You felt it, didn't you? The sudden chill when they entered the room. The unprovoked arguments that left your spirit shaken. The strange stares that lasted just a second too long. All subtle ripples in a spiritual current that was never natural to begin with. You tried to rationalize it. You told yourself they were just having a bad day, a rough week, a stressful season. But heaven saw deeper. Heaven saw through it. Heaven sent this word because those moments were not just moods, they were movements. Not emotion, but assignments. Listen closely now, for Archangel Michael reveals what the angels saw. They saw the smirk when your back was turned. They saw the eye roll when you shared your joy. They saw the resentment behind their congratulations. What you perceived as indifference was actually interference. What you thought was silence was strategy. The enemy was watching, speaking, mimicking, and influencing through someone you trusted. And while you were trying to preserve peace, they were studying how to pierce it. Do not doubt what your soul has already confirmed. The emotional imbalance, the unpredictable reactions, the passive-aggressive words, these were not coincidental. They were strategically planted by spirits that knew your assignment and feared your alignment. And so, they whispered into the ears of the weak-willed. They chose someone close. They chose familiarity as their camouflage. And you, awakened one, became the target not because you are weak but because your spirit is mighty. and your light has been rising. Your dreams weren't just dreams. They were warnings, glimpses, prophetic downloads wrapped in metaphor and mystery. You saw shadows and couldn't interpret them. You heard names and dismissed them. You felt urgency but buried it beneath politeness. But now, Archangel Michael is here to tell you, the disruption was never about the person, it was always about your position. They were sent to derail, distract, delay. They were sent to occupy the space meant for your destiny's eyes. This was not about paranoia. This was not about being too sensitive. This was about being spiritually awake in a season when others chose sleep. You were never being overly cautious. You were discerning. You were never being cold. You were being covered. You were never isolating yourself. Heaven was insulating you. And now, the angels have drawn the line. They saw you shrink in spirit to maintain peace. They saw you question your worth to accommodate their mood swings. They saw you dim your divine light to keep their darkness comfortable. But no more. Heaven says no more. Archangel Michael now declares, you will no longer be disrupted by someone whose thoughts are not their own. You will no longer be emotionally manipulated by someone spiritually compromised. The time of tolerating the counterfeit has come to an end. Your empathy was weaponized against you, but now your clarity becomes your weapon. Your peace becomes your sword. Your silence becomes your warfare. The emotional shifts were never about you. They were about the enemy sensing your growth and trying to sabotage it through proximity. Understand this: the deeper your purpose, the more subtle the warfare. And the closer you get to breakthrough, the more familiar the enemy will pretend to be. But the veil is lifting. The time is near. May 28th was chosen as the day of revelation, not by man, not by emotion, but by divine order. And what was hidden will shake under the light of truth. Now you must choose stillness. Do not engage. Do not chase. Do not clarify. Let the Spirit expose what the soul concealed. This deception ends with divine separation. The angelic host has surrounded your home, your mind, your heart, and what once brought confusion will now make sense. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1516 is now activated. This is not personal. This is not emotional. This is not simply human conflict. This is spiritual warfare. And you, chosen one, are at the center of a divine strategy. The one pretending, the one who has smiled, listened, watched, has not done so from a place of innocence. They have become a vessel. And no, they did not sign up for this consciously. They did not wake up and say, "Let me be used." But in spiritual matters, access is invitation. And access was granted. The bitterness they refused to heal became a door. The anger they masked in compliments became a portal. The offense they nurtured in silence became a spiritual contract. And what entered began to speak, not through growls or dramatics, through silence, through sabotage, through spiritual mimicry. The enemy used their closeness as camouflage. And now, Archangel Michael says, the nearer they sit, the more carefully you must pray. Hear this: you were targeted not because of your weakness, but because of your rising. You are glowing in the Spirit, and they saw it before you did. Your name hath been spoken in rooms you've never entered. Your light has irritated demons you've never seen. And so the enemy, knowing your ascension, planted familiar faces to distract your faith, to delay your path, to entangle your emotions in invisible warfare. But God is not punishing you. This exposure is not punishment. It is promotion. He is revealing your enemies before your elevation. He is unmasking the familiar foe before he unlocks your next door. Why? Because you cannot ascend with weights. You cannot transition with traitors. You cannot step into purpose gragging sabotage disguised as support. Every spiritual test arrives before divine transition. And this is your test. Not to confront, but to pursue. Not to fix, but to separate. Not to plead, but to obey. Your ability to recognize the spiritual framing of this conflict determines your readiness for the next level. Archangel Michael says, rise in discernment. Sharpen your sight. Heaven is positioning you. Do not fall into the trap of trying to make them see. Your blindness is not yours to heal. Their compromise is not yours to carry. Your clarity is for you. Your breakthrough is for you. And their reaction to your silence will reveal the truth their mouth refuses to admit. What you are facing is not random. This is a divine uncovering. The Spirit is making visible what was spiritual. And you are being trained in clarity, sharpened in silence, strengthened in solitude. Michael stands behind you now, sword drawn, protecting not just your body, but your purpose. He guards the oil on your life. He shields the mantle that was hidden until now. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am a warrior in the comments if this word confirms your path. Blessing code 4321 is now surrounding your destiny. This is your warning. This is heaven's alert wrapped in urgency and thunder. The Spirit of God has spoken, and Archangel Michael now declares, May 28th is not the end. It is the beginning of unveiling. Do not misinterpret the silence that follows this message. Do not mistake peace for passivity. The realm of angels is in movement. The heavenlies are in full activation. What was tolerated in ignorance will no longer be protected by innocence. There will be movement. There will be shifts. Someone near you, someone familiar, someone still seated at your table, still present in your circle, will begin to twitch under the weight of divine revelation. They will react, deflect, deny or flee. Do not be moved. Do not chase after what heaven is dismantling. Do not cling to the one heaven is separating. Their withdrawal is not your rejection. It is your redirection. Archangel Michael says clearly, in 72 hours, the fruit of their spirit will show. You do not need to guess. You will not need to confront. Truth will not come by admission. It will come by manifestation. The angels saw something they cannot unsee. A darkness, a muttering, a hidden agreement. They saw the mask slip when you weren't looking. They saw the alliance form when you were sleeping. And they are moving fast. Not to harm, but to protect you from what you did not perceive. Do not fall into the trap of emotional confrontation. That is a bait. That is a trap. That is a strategy to pull you out of divine alignment. The enemy will use drama to distract you. The spirit behind their mask will provoke, will pressure, will prod, hoping you will speak, hoping you will react. But this battle is won in silence, not in shouts. This battle is not of flesh and blood. This battle is spiritual. You cannot win with your hands. You will win with your silence, your stillness, your discernment. The justice of God has already begun. It does not need your help. It does not ask for your input. It has been declared in the heavens and will be seen in the earth. Divine justice is not delayed. It is meticulous. Every lie, every whisper, every manipulation is being brought into divine balance. Archangel Michael stands at the gateway, guarding the unfolding. He is not here to request, it is here to execute. You will see their demeanor change. You will sense the awkwardness in their spirit. You will hear the contradiction in their words. Do not ignore it. This is the fruit showing itself. This is the exposure unraveling. What they once hid with ease, they can no longer mask. Your spirit is unraveling under the presence of your obedience. Understand this. You were not meant to carry this pain. You were meant to witness this unveiling. You are not the punisher. You are the protected. This is not about revenge. This is about release. Heaven is taking the weight you once tried to carry on your own. The burden is being removed. The yoke is being shattered. The season of tolerating hidden sabotage is ending. And your silence is your agreement with heaven's decree. Archangel Michael has moved ahead of you. The war is not coming. It has already started. And the evidence will appear before your eyes in 72 hours. Watch it. Don't speak. Observe. Don't interfere. Heaven is your defense. Justice is your portion. Type I am guarded in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 8844 is surrounding your mind and decisions. Be still now. Be still. For in the stillness, the strategy of heaven unfolds in precision. You do not need to shout. You do not need to prove. You do not need to expose. Archangel Michael speaks again. Heaven does more in silence than you can do in noise. The enemy thrives on chaos, on confusion, on emotional outbursts. But the anointed thrive in stillness. The protected win through peace. This is a time for divine observation, not confrontation. You are not being passive, you are being positioned. Your silence is not weakness, it is warfare. Your quietness is not retreat, it is your command post. Every time you refuse to respond to provocation, you deny the enemy access. Every time you remain calm in the face of accusation, you activate angelic protection. Michael says, no contact of confrontation, just observation. You are not called to engage, you are called to endure. And in this endurance, you will see the hand of God move. You will watch the plan of the enemy implode under the weight of divine timing. You may feel isolated, but you are not alone. You are insulated by heaven's covering. The silence you feel is not abandonment. It is divine insulation. Heaven always hides its warriors during exposure. You are not meant to be seen right now. You are meant to be shielded. Let them wonder. Let them assume. Let them speculate. Their confusion is your covering. Declare this now. I am guarded. I am chosen. I am seen. These are not just words. They are affirmations that shield your soul, declarations that align your spirit. Recite them when doubt creeps in. Whisper them when fear tries to rise. Repeat them when memories of betrayal begin to taunt your peace. Your words shape your protection. Your faith shields your mind. You owe no one an explanation for the silence God commanded. Do not clarify what God is purifying. Do not explain what God is exposing. The one heaven has unmasked is no longer your responsibility. You are not required to stay where God is removing. You are not obligated to defend what God is dividing. Michael stands before you, his wings outstretched, his sword drawn. He guards not just your physical space, but your purpose, your anointing, your future. He has blocked entrances the enemy used before. He has sealed spiritual doors that once leaked confusion. You are not just protected, you are positioned. The presence of the Archangel is your assurance that what heaven has started, no man can reverse. This period of silence is your spiritual reset. Use it. Rest. Feel. Listen. Align. Let heaven pour back into you what betrayal drained from you. Let the Spirit refill what arguments emptied. Let your soul breathe without needing to explain why. If this stillness is hard, know this. Every soldier is pulled back before the final charge. Every warrior retreats before the final reveal. You are not being delayed. You are being sharpened. And when it is time to step forward, you will do so with clarity, peace, and unstoppable authority. Type I am hidden in heaven if this message covers your current journey. Blessing code 7777 is now active around you. Hear this, child of light. What was sent to expose you has instead revealed your ascension. What tried to shatter you has become the soil of your spiritual awakening. A betrayal did not destroy you, it crowned you. The sting of deceit did not silence you, it activated the voice of your anointing. This was not a collapse, it was a graduation in the spirit. And heaven is rejoicing because you passed a test that many failed not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked surrender. Archangel Michael speaks with power. You've grown wings while they plotted with chains. You understand. You were never the same after that moment of heartbreak. You were never the same after that night of silence. You were never the same after that sudden distancing that you couldn't explain. And that's because you weren't meant to be. The veil has been torn. The wool has been removed. You are no longer the one who tolerates deception. You are no longer the one who waits for validation to believe what your spirit already confirmed. You have entered a new posture, one of authority, not apology. You're not who you were when they first met you. That version of you needed answers. This version walks in knowing. That version feared conflict. This one walks in discernment. That version begged for clarity. This one stands in revelation. You have been transformed in the presence of spiritual warfare, and now the enemy recognizes the glow you've tried to hide. What used to shake you now sharpens you. What used to confuse you now clarify you. Where you once tried to keep the peace, now you preserve your purpose. Your empowerment did not come through pride. It came through pain, through pressing, through prophetic maturity. Michael smiles now, because the chains that once wrapped your discernment have been broken by the sound of your silence. This exposure was not for destruction, it was for distinction. God allowed it so that you could see who was real, so that you could know who never was, so that you could release what heaven already rejected. And now, heaven is placing a new mantle upon you. Not a visible robe, but a spiritual elevation. A new level of perception. A deeper well of insight. A bolder walk in your calling. The enemy underestimated your response. They thought the betrayal would break you, but it built you. They thought the silence would isolate you, but it insulated you. They thought their absence would destroy you, but it refined you. And now, you walk forward not with bitterness, but with power. Not with vengeance, but with vision. Rise now. Not in ego. Not in pride. Rise in purpose. Rise in clarity. Rise in obedience. The assignment you carry is no longer a mystery. You were chosen not just to endure, but to discern, to declare, to dominate in your spiritual territory. And this betrayal was the final test. Michael now says, do not return to the old version of yourself. Do not return to smallness. Do not return to proving. Do not return to people who only understood the unhealed you. You are no longer their familiar. You are heaven's warrior, refined by fire, shielded by truth, called by name. Walk forward. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them misinterpret. Your rise was never meant to be understood by those still stuck in spiritual slumber. And now that your wings have stretched, nothing can bring you back to that cage. You are free. You are called. You are empowered. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $50. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am risen in the comments if you've been called to new authority. Blessing code 3003 has now clothed your purpose. And now, as the heavens draw nearer, as the veil between seen and unseen thins, Archangel Michael delivers the word that shifts everything. The betrayal you felt, it was the trigger to unlock the prophecy over your life. The pain you wrestled with, the confusion you navigated, the sudden withdrawal of the one you trusted. None of it was random. All of it was prophetic. God delayed the blessing. He didn't deny it. He didn't forget it. He delayed it until the deceiver was removed, until the mask was lifted, until the proximity that permitted sabotage was broken by divine discernment. Because no snake can crawl across holy ground without consequence. And the Father refused to let the impure inhabit the same space as your destiny. That's why this happened. That's why it hurt. That's why the shift came fast. The betrayal was your sign. It was your release. It was the spiritual unlocking of heaven's timing. The pain pushed the prophecy. The ache activated the announcement. You weren't being rejected. You were being rooted. That person was not meant to walk with you into your next. Their presence would have polluted your favor. Their spirit would have delayed your anointing. So God pulled back the curtain. And yes, it was sudden. Yes, it was jarring. Yes, it was painful. But it was prophetic. The very moment you wept in confusion, heaven celebrated your redirection. Because you needed to know. You needed to see. You needed to separate before you could soar. And now comes the elevation. Now comes the turn. Now comes the divine unveiling of what was always yours but withheld for your protection. Archangel Michael says, this unveiling marks your spiritual shift. You are moving. You are rising. You are ascending. Not just in favor, not just in opportunity, but in vision, in power, in spiritual capacity. You have been seen. You have been tested. You have been called by name. The angels circled your name in heaven's courts. You were never forgotten. You were hidden. Hidden so the enemy wouldn't find you. Hidden so jealousy couldn't kill you. Hidden so your glory would not be prematurely tainted. Hidden until now. You are emerging, and the spiritual atmosphere is aware. That's why the enemy launched such a close betrayal. That's why the warfare came in the form of a friend. But they were only a shadow. You are the light. They were only a tool. You are the temple. Their betrayal, it's beneath you now. You rise above it, anointed, covered, unstoppable. Type I am awakened in the comments if you feel the shift. Blessing code 1122 now unlocks the next chapter of your destiny. You've watched the mask fall. You heard the silence echo louder than words. You've seen the signs, clear, undeniable, deliberate. Heaven has spoken. The angels have acted. And now, it is your move. Now, it is your moment. Archangel Michael steps forward and declares, say yes to your assignment. Say yes to the mantle that has hovered over you, waiting for your agreement. Do not hesitate now. The path ahead is not unclear, it is simply unfamiliar. You've spent so long adjusting to delay, dancing around deceit, entertaining confusion, that now, when clarity arrives, it feels foreign. But this is not a mistake. This is the unlocking. This is the divine release. This is your yes moment. Declare it now, without apology and without hesitation. I move in power, not pain. Let heaven hear it. Let hell tremble under it. Let the watchers, both divine and demonic, witness the shift in your spirit. You are no longer reacting. You are aligning. You are no longer explaining. You are executing. You are no longer afraid. You are advancing. The door they tried to block has already opened. What they whispered behind your back could not close what heaven ordained for your future. The assignment is alive. The timing is now. You've been activated not by chance but by divine sequence. Every tear, every silence, every betrayal, it all led here. And now, the only thing left to do is step forward. Don't look back. There's nothing left in the old circle. There's nothing left in the old pattern. The people who couldn't carry your destiny were removed so your purpose could breathe. Do not mourn what heaven has severed. Do not grieve what was not graced for your next. Look forward. Line forward. Move forward. The season has changed, and your spirit knows it. Archangel Michael stands by the gate of this new chapter and speaks with certainty. Action is alignment. You don't have to know every detail. You don't have to see every step. You only need to move in obedience. Heaven will handle the rest. The path unfolds at the pace of your faith. And every step you take in divine courage sends tremors into the camp of the enemy. You were not called to question. You were called to conquer. You were not born to fear. You were born to fulfill. The hesitation that once gripped your voice is breaking. The anxiety that once held your breath is dissolving. You are stepping into the space your soul was created for. No more thinking. No more delaying. No more second-guessing your knowing. Heaven is watching. The cloud of witnesses is cheering. The angels are aligning. The Holy Spirit is igniting. And Michael is guarding. What could stand against you now? What voice could silence your call? What presence could stop a prophecy in motion? None. Not one. Because the throne has spoken. And when heaven decrees, no demon can deny. So rise now. In boldness. In certainty. In full spiritual authority. The deceiver is behind you. The destiny is before you. The doorway has opened, and you were chosen to walk through it. Type ISAYYES in the comments if this word confirms your shift. Blessing code 5555 is now igniting your destiny. There are things happening around you that you cannot yet see. Movements, rehearsals, heavenly negotiations. While you wept, while you wrestled with confusion, while your heart cried out for clarity, the angels were not still. Michael was not idle. Heaven was not silent. A silent exchange has been underway. Divine movements made in stillness. Battles fought behind the veil. Victories secured in realms your eyes have yet to behold. They took things from you. Joy, clarity, confidence, energy. With subtle words and draining presence, They pulled you away from your spiritual core. They made you doubt your own intuition. They laughed in private while pretending in public. They fed off your openness. They multiplied your hesitation. And you questioned your own discernment because you loved them. Because you trusted them. Because you never thought heaven would demand such a separation. But while you agonized in silence, heaven began to shift. And now, the reversal begins. What they stole will return. What they mocked will rise. What they cursed will be blessed. Archangel Michael has stood at your door, sword in hand, issuing decrees on your behalf. You weren't alone when you cried. You weren't unprotected when you were drained. You weren't forgotten when you were betrayed. Your restlessness wasn't confusion. It was your spirit responding to angelic movement. The strange timing. A sudden emotional waves. A mental fatigue. These weren't natural. They were indicators of divine adjustment. The battlefield has never been your living room. It's been the unseen realm, and in that realm, victory has already been written. This is heaven's chessboard. And Michael declares, your next move is victory. You may not feel powerful. You may not feel ready. But your name is written on the scroll of those who survived. Those who endured. Those who outlasted dissection and still chose alignment. It counts for more than you know. Heaven counted it. The angels saw it. God recorded it. There has been a spiritual exchange in your favor. Favor for fatigue. Clarity for confusion. Peace for pain. A new level is being handed to you in silence. Don't rush to explain it. Don't feel the need to broadcast it. Let the enemy watch in torment as your life transforms under the radar. Your quiet season was your upgrade. Your hidden battle was your access code. Michael says this final thing. Sleep now. Rest well. For the Lord is repositioning you with holy hands. You are being moved. Elevated. Advanced. All without noise. All without drama. All without their approval. This is your moment. Marked in silence. Sealed in glory. Type I receive the exchange in the comments if this confirms your shift. Blessing code 1919 is restoring what was taken. Now the tables turn. Now the balance shifts. Now the scrolls of judgment are unsealed. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword not merely for defense but for divine enforcement. This is the hour of reversal. This is the moment where justice is no longer whispered. It is thundered from the courts of heaven. For what was done in secret is now being judged in the spirit. And what was hidden by the deceiver is being uncovered by the hand of God himself. The one who wore the mask. The one who nodded while plotting. The one who stayed close just to sabotage silently. Their time is up. Not because you sought revenge. Not because you plotted exposure. But because heaven's justice cannot be mocked. What was sown in manipulation is being reaped in exposure. What was whispered in shadows is being screamed through consequence. Understand this clearly. God's judgment is never hasty, but it is always holy. It is precise. It is final. The deceiver will not confess with words. They won't need to. The exposer will speak for itself. Their fruit will rot in public view. Your patterns will collapse without your hand on it. You will not need to vindicate yourself. The Spirit of God is your vindication. Heaven's timing is your justice. You who were mocked, misunderstood, misrepresented, heaven saw. Michael stood watch. The angels recorded every whisper, every side-eye, every false accusation. You were never without defense. It only appeared silent because God was gathering evidence. But now he has ruled. and his ruling favors you. They expected your ruin. They expected your breakdown. They expected the delay to destroy your momentum. But God, who wastes nothing, has used the very weapons they crafted to sharpen your next level. What they cursed in private is now being publicly blessed. What they thought was a plot has become a platform for your spiritual acceleration. Divine reversal is not subtle. It is sovereign. It takes what was meant for evil and turns it so violently that your enemies are forced to watch your rising. They are forced to sit at the table while God anoints your head with oil. And no, you won't need to gloat. You won't need to retaliate. Because your rising will say everything. Everything they did to bring confusion, God is now using to bring clarity. Everything they said to strip you of confidence, God is now rewriting in authority. The reversal is so complete, so holy, so undeniable, that those who spoke against you will find themselves silenced not by your rebuttal, but by your results. Michael now speaks with the voice of divine finality. Heaven has recalibrated your name. What they tried to label you, heaven has erased. What they tried to bind, heaven has broken. What they tried to delay, heaven has released. You will rise where they expected you to fall. You will lead where they assumed you would follow. You will ascend in spaces they tried to block. You are not who you were when this battle began. You are clothed in revelation now. You are armored in divine favor now. And the deceiver cannot touch what God has sealed. You will see their exposure, not as vengeance, but as verification, that you were covered all along, that God never stopped watching, that the justice you cried out for was being prepared in silence. So don't look back in anger. Look forward in power. The reversal has already begun, and heaven has spoken your name with favor. Type "I am justified" in the comments if you receive this verdict. Blessing code 2828 has now released your recompense. And now, as the dust settles, as the veil lifts completely, as the deceiver fades into irrelevance, the Archangel stands once more to speak a final word over your spirit. A word not of warning but of blessing. A word not of exposure, but of sealing. A word to carry you forward in strength, in peace, in heavenly certainty. You are sealed, seen, and surrounded. Let these words echo through your being. Let them rewrite the inner dialogue the deceiver tried to corrupt. Let them restore the confidence you quietly surrendered. Heaven knows your name. Heaven has called your number. Heaven has placed you in this moment for such a time as this. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. The angels still walk with you, stronger now, louder now, closer now. Where you once felt alone, you are now accompanied. Where you once questioned your direction, you are now confirmed. Where you once doubted your protection, you are now cloaked in holy covering. What the enemy meant for evil, heaven has flipped with fierce precision. The betrayal became a blessing. The rejection became your redirection. The silence became your shield. You are not a victim. You are a vessel. You are not defeated. You are deployed. And no, you did not stumble upon this message. You were summoned to it. Your spirit aligned with it. You were drawn by design because the truth embedded in these words matches the cries you released in silence. Heaven heard you. Heaven answered. Heaven responded with a word, a warrior, and a witness. Say it now. Say it loudly. Say it like your future is listening. I am chosen. I am covered. I am called. And walk forward in that truth. Carry it like a sword. Wear it like armor. Let it light your path through every shadow the enemy tries to cast. For you are not walking into a storm, you are walking through revelation. And with every step, you declare that the light of heaven surrounds you, the wisdom of God leads you, and the presence of angels go before you. Now go, with clarity, with power, and with divine protection. You've been seen. You've been tested. You've been called. And now, you've been confirmed. Type I am sealed in the comments if you receive this final blessing. Blessing code 777 is now anointing your next steps.